Bengals break for the bye. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien outside of Paycor Stadium, where the Bengals, well, they went home for the bye week. Zach Taylor giving them Tuesday off, which makes a ton of sense because, well, this is their time to rest, relax, and recharge ahead of the final 11 games of the season. By the way, we're going to have you covered all week long here, even though there's a bye. Working on some interviews and some exclusives right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Make sure you check out Tee Higgins. He talked today and updated his status about his injury. Also check out Nick Scott and what Nick had to say as well. As for today and the current state of the team going into the bye, Brian Callahan talked with us writers for about 20 minutes or so. No video. But what I thought was interesting, and it started with Zach Taylor relaying to us that Brian met with the offense like he always does. Obviously, Zach's in that meeting as well, and was able to point out each and every guy making a mistake. Obviously, multiple mistakes. And Brian was about as outspoken as I've seen any coach as far as the need for this offense specifically to be better. Coaches, players, everybody on that side of the ball be better. And when you look at the numbers, obviously it backs it up. The Bengals right now averaging under 17 points per game, 16.67. Some of that has to do with the defense and the defense scoring a couple of touchdowns. The offense has been bad, and it's been inconsistent. And it felt like they were turning a corner after what they did in Arizona, and then certainly the first couple of drives yesterday. That wasn't the case, and he was frustrated. He said he was on his couch, looking at his iPad, watching the game, rewatching the All-22, just fuming because of missed opportunities, certainly missed throws from Joe Burrow, missed assignments from a bunch of different guys. The 3rd-and-1 play, there was multiple blown assignments on that play. Look, this team has talent. There's no doubt about it. But right now on offense, it's been the Jamar Chase show when they've won, and really that's it. There hasn't been a reliable second option, and there's a bunch of reasons for that. Joe Burrow's injury, Tee Higgins' injury, and inconsistencies on offense, like a bunch of things, but they need to figure it out. And I think that's the part of this that should give, I think, fans confidence, certainly would give me confidence. One, this Bengals team has made second-half surges in each of the past 2 years during this run that they've been on. Two, they clearly aren't afraid to diagnose the problems and the issues. And now they need to find those solutions. It certainly starts with Joe Burrow getting healthier, and I think this bye week is going to give him a chance to get healthier for a few different reasons. Mental health. He's been grinding since that July 27th injury. And so it's about 11 weeks, and he's pushed through it, hasn't missed a game. Had the aggravation on September 17th. Since then, he's been pushing through. And so now I think it's good for him to take a mental reset to a degree. And he'll probably do that where you take a day or two and just step away, recharge, and get to it. Because this Bengals team, if they're going to get where they hope to go, obviously you need Joe Burrow to be playing at a really, really high level. And we've seen flashes of it over the past couple of games, but it hasn't been consistent enough. This offense hasn't been consistent enough. And injury-wise, obviously, Tee Higgins, I mentioned him. He played on Sunday through a rib injury, battling through the pain, certainly less than 100%, and he hopes to be much, much better in a few weeks and when they take the field against the San Francisco 49ers in 13 days. We'll see how he's feeling, but he's going to rest up as well. That's part of what he said today. But this offense, we know how good it can be. It just hasn't been there, and there hasn't been a quality second option. Brian Callahan talking about the run game as well, stressing that they may go more under center in the final 11 games and start to do that coming out of the bye. Part of that had to do with Joe, certainly, battling through the calf. But maybe they do that. I think that part's interesting. I've always pushed back on the idea that that's a huge, huge issue, but maybe it does solve some of the ground game issues that the Bengals have had, and they were just really inconsistent. The past couple of games, they haven't been as good on the ground as they would hope to be. 3.2 yards a carry on Sunday against the Seahawks, and you really need to see that aspect improve a little bit, just be more consistent. I know they wanted more explosive runs. I'm not sure they're going to get them this year. With these running backs. Maybe if Chase Brown emerges, but to me, I think that's who they are right now. If you block for 4 yards or 5 yards, and this is what Callahan said, they've gotten 4 or 5 yards. There isn't many extra yards and many explosive runs, and that's for a variety of reasons. That's not just on the running backs, but run blocking wise, all of these things that have to improve. And so I think that the Bengals, they are in a good place from almost a mental standpoint because they've diagnosed their issues. And even Lou Anarumo, as good as the defense was, he said today how he's stressing that they need to be more consistent in those explosive plays downfield. They need to be able to shore those up. We'll see if they can do it. But the fact that they're 3-3 and they've gone on this roller coaster during the first 6 games, you look up, you say, all right, 3-3, and the offense hasn't been anywhere near what we thought it was going to be. And this is me trying to get in their head and in their mindset. Let's figure out what's wrong. Let's diagnose it. Let's come back healthier, and let's hit the ground running in Week 8 against the San Francisco 49ers. I think that's the mindset right now for this team from Zach Taylor on down, certainly the players. And this was not a comfortable morning, I think, for some of these offensive guys. Not that it was uncomfortable, but I think they understood what they needed to work on and what they needed to improve on. And the coaching staff will continue to diagnose that during their self-scout over the next few days going into next week and make some adjustments that are going to be necessary because this team, it's wild saying it now, but coming into this season, I remember thinking, man, they could really average 30 points per game. And obviously you have the training camp injury with Joe Burrow. You have the setback. There's a bunch of different factors, a bunch of different reasons. But at some point, you have to either overcome them or you are what you are. And I think Brian Callahan had that emphasis and had that mindset that they need to turn it around. And I'm sure Joe Burrow, we didn't hear from Joe today, but everybody on down feels the same way. Make sure you keep it locked right here. Hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell. We are working on multiple interviews this week to give you exclusive Bengals coverage that you're not going to get anywhere else because CBT, we're not taking a bye. It's not Cincinnati Bengals bye talk. No, Cincinnati Bengals talk. We're going to be giving you coverage all week long right here. So for Andrew Fox-Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now. Thank you so much for watching Cincinnati Bengals Talk.